Hey, all my lifestyle athletes out there. This is Dr. G. Hopping on here to do hopefully a quick and efficient, little quick educational tool on how I found using um, AI generators to create some meal plans. As a functional medicine practitioner and a naturopathic doctor, we often do quite a bit of nutritional counseling. And, sometimes in the efforts to, make things more personalized. I think the software is definitely out there with capabilities to help us make this process really quick, but also either clinically and or individually directed and appropriate. So these are just some quick steps that I've found that I hope will be helpful for you to use. And it's all about the beginning prompt, as you know. Um, So I usually start out with just a simple prompt in the AI in the ChatGPT prompt area, creating a certain number of days of a meal plan with the following criteria. So what are those criteria? I've created a list of five main categories of the criteria. There's also some kind of sub notes here to get you kind of tuned into what some of those examples might be as you're looking to create this for yourself. So first and foremost, we certainly want you to have an appropriate caloric target, macronutrients targets as well. You can be specific with those in the prompt. How many calories are you looking for? How many grams of protein are you looking for? Etc. Grams of fiber. You name it, you can put it in there. Next is the preferred meal frequency. Number of meals or snacks per day. Simple, numerical, straight to the point. What frequency is that? Dietary pattern. Are you following anything or planning to follow any? Are you vegan, keto, Mediterranean, anti-inflammatory? Are you following something for treating a specific condition if you're under the care of somebody like IBS, if you're treating IBS, and maybe following a low FODMAP diet? Are you just trying to go low carb, pescatarian, etc.? There's many examples of this, and different dietary patterns or dietary paradigms that can be followed that have been well established. Next is preferences. Preferences for three main categories. Variety. How much variety do you want in the weekly meals? Do you want them to repeat? Do you not want them to repeat? You can put that information in as a prompt, as a criteria. Next is the complexity. How complex do you want the meals to be? How many ingredients are going to be in there is one thing that's considered by the complexity, right? So is it simple? Is it fast? Is it, or is it more elaborate and more complex? That's usually just kind of it's usually something that we're putting in as a requirement by like lifestyle challenges, time, etc. Miscellaneous includes other priorities that you may have as related to food. Organic versus non-organic. Are you using any supplements, protein supplements, or other supplements in your nutrition? Do you prefer smoothies or bowls or instant pot meals or stews or soups? If you're, kind of really driving towards particular types of meals, this is where you would put that in a kind of a separate bullet point prompts. Lastly would be any restrictions, allergies, sensitivities, etc., religious or ethical, and examples obviously gluten-free, dairy-free, etc. Next, making sure you have calculated your macronutrients appropriately. So there are a couple ways to do that. I've given some examples on here that go from different perspectives, a little bit of a different type of calculator, these two examples, and I will link those in the show notes. I don't have any affiliation with either of these sites. I just have used them in the past at various times as a resource. And then here's an example. So I just did this prompt the other day, came out with quite a solid plan for 7 days It was repeated. A couple of the days are repeated because I had mentioned here that I can do some repeats of the meals if I'm, buying a certain amount of food and either preparing it ahead of time or just desiring to have it for simplicity's sake, some repeats of meals. So you'll see what I punched in there as example. You see I have 7 main prompts there as the criteria following the initial prompt. So this is how I have kind of boiled some of the key buckets of prompting down for this AI meal plan generating. Hopefully it's helpful. I find it to be at least initially helpful when making meal plans for individuals that is more specific than it might be if I just gave you a canned program out of some list that has a lot of foods that you might not enjoy on it. So anyway, any questions? Find me on Instagram. Find me on my website listed there. I will also link my information in the show in the kind of the show notes, sub notes. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching and for listening. And take care. See y'all soon.